Good morning and welcome to the Sky Spirit channel. I'm saying good morning. It could be any time of day when you're watching this, because you could be watching it in the future, or you could be watching it later on. Just because I'm recording it live doesn't mean to say that the readings aren't relevant for you at this moment, because there are no coincidences, and very often you get a nudge to go somewhere if there's a message for you. So like a nudge from Spirit. So today, less rabbiting on, more action. So straight into the astrology for the day. So today could be a bit tricky, particularly in matters of the heart, because Venus retrograde, and Venus is the planet which deals with our romantic side and the love that we have in us. So this planet is retrograde, which is always a bit of an obstacle, a bit tricky. It can cause problems, but it also conjoins with Saturn, which is currently in Pisces, and Saturn can be a challenging planet, and with it landing in Pisces, it sort of makes it very unbalanced. So there could be arguments. Don't make any hasty decisions today. I'd wait until later on if it has to be done today, or tomorrow if possible, because there's I think Mercury's going direct with Pisces later on, so that brings more clarity to you. So if you can put off your decision till later, do so, but ideally put it off till tomorrow. Right, so quick collective reading. Okay, so I'm doing a 3-card reading for the collective. Okay, right, so we have the Sun, the Ace of Swords, 10 of Cups reversed. So I'm going to say that we're looking at, because this is a collective reading, I'm going to say that this is a far off land. This is somewhere abroad. So we're looking at a decision that's being taken in a far off land. So it's like there's a new plan to do something. Sorry about the massive gap there. My brain's not in gear yet. It is a Monday morning where I am. So there's a new plan, there's a new sort of legislation or a new course of action that's being taken, and it seems like it's very favorable. Now I'm interpreting the Sun as meaning it's somewhere abroad, and that can be as literal as that with the Sun card, but it can also mean that it's a good light shining on this decision. So it seems like this is a really good decision to have been made, and it's sort of it's going to change things for the better. However, we've got the 10 of Cups reversed right next to it, so this casts a shadow over these two cards, because it's saying that there is somewhat of a betrayal going on as well. Now I'm going to take this reading to be influencing the next couple of days. So it feels like there's a great decision in the offing on a sort of a wider level than just ourselves. So there's a decision which is looking like a great way forward for the people involved. However, there is a betrayal. There is something not as it should be that's going on with this particular decision. And it feels like it's a little bit underhand. It feels like there's deals being made behind doors that everybody involved in the decision isn't aware of. However, the full energy of the card, when it returns to its positive aspect, so it's up the right way up, is that of a happy ending. So it's like saying, okay, yeah, there might be some dodgy dealings. However, eventually this decision that's being made, these plans that are taking place, will come forward into the sun, and they will resolve some problems. If you find anything today that you think fits that, I'm sure you will, then do drop me an email, naomi@skyspirit.co.uk, or you can put a message for me in the chat. Even if I'm not live, I pick up those messages. Speaking of which, if you've got a question for me, then drop it into the chat and I'll come to that at the end of the 12-card reading. To do that, I forgot to say, you have to be a subscriber to the channel. So do subscribe to the channel. You can also put your notifications on, which means that because I do this every morning at 10:30, you'll get a notification, or you should do. And that means that if you've got a tough day ahead, or if you just want a little bit of guidance, then you can tune in. But if you don't, then you can ignore me and I shall just carry on as normal. So do subscribe, put your notifications on. Right, let's lay these 12 cards out. You pick a number between 1 and 12, or you can pick more than one number. Why not ask your spirit guide to give you a nudge towards the right number this morning? I'm going to lay the cards out as I'm waffling, and then counting, talking, and laying cards out. This is multitasking in the extreme. Once I've done them, we shall get started and I'll interpret them in a random order. We're going to go straight for number 7 this morning. Number 7. I have got for you the 5 of Cups reversed. This feels to me today like there's something that's happened in your past, like a breakup. That's the first thing that comes to mind. Good morning, Sunseas in the chat. The first thing that comes to mind is a breakup or an emotional loss that's been in the past. And that feels like it could be resolved today or very soon. It feels like this other person who's involved in this situation might well be having a change of heart, or they might be seeing things in a different light, or remember, it's simply a 1-card reading, so it's very difficult to be very specific. So if it's not somebody else, it could be you. Are you having second thoughts about leaving a relationship? Are you having second thoughts about making a decision that affected your emotional life, whether that is with a significant other, whether that is with friends, with family, something where your heart, your emotions is involved? So it feels like, because this is reversed, see, this is walking away, and this is almost like walking back. It feels like the energy changes around that sort of situation of splitting up. So if that resonates with you today, then do let me know. I'd love to hear about that one. Number 8. Number 8, you've got the 7 of Wands reversed. 7 of Wands feels like you could have somebody challenging your power, or somebody challenging your leadership, somebody challenging the fact that you're in charge of something. And it can be, it doesn't have to be like, like a manager at work that you're being challenged and you're a manager. It could be somebody just challenging how you feel about something, or how you choose to do certain things. So like your life decisions or your life choices. Feels like somebody's really attacking you here, and they're sort of trying to convince you that their way is better, like my way is the highway, all that sort of stuff. But it's also, it feels like you feel oppressed by these opinions, and you could feel quite downhearted about how they're treating you, about how they're talking to you. And it feels like you feel like rebelling against what they're saying, but your energy feels low as well. And sometimes it's easier just to go along with it and see what happens. But this card is really encouraging you to take on board the positive aspects of it and stand your ground. You see this guy, again, it's really difficult for my hand to go in the right direction because I see a mirror image. So this guy, I'm still doing it wrong. Let's, that way. So this guy is standing his ground and he's fighting off the people that are coming for him. So this card is telling you, from this position where you're feeling downtrodden, reassert your dominance, take back your power, stand your ground, and move forward from that position. So don't put up with any you know what. Number 6. Number 6, isn't that strange? Another wand, but the 9 of Wands this time. And this feels, it's quite a similar card, to be honest, but it's called the Wounded Warrior card by some people. And it basically means that you've been through a lot of stuff and you feel a bit wounded by it. And you feel like when it's reversed, it feels even worse. You think that there's obstacles, adversity. It's that sort of feeling of, why do I bother to get up again and pull myself out of this hole when it feels like I fall down every hole in the road? And it can feel very depressing, and you feel like, you know, you have gone through a few battles and you're battle weary. You're thinking, you know, is there any point? Why do I bother? But this card again encourages you to resume or take back your power and go back into the power of this energy. And this is, yes, this guy it's a 9. He's actually been through 9 lives like a cat. And because it's a later number in the sequence, he's actually, I should say, you've actually won so many things, so many battles you've come through, and so many things you've managed, and so many things you've overcome. You're still here. And that's because you have battled through them all. So while you do feel slightly defeated at the moment, I want you to look back today at those things that you've accomplished, those battles that you've won, those adversities that you've, excuse me, overcome. So I want you to turn your energy from this way up to try to get back to this position where, yeah, you've been through a lot, but you're still standing and you're ready for that next battle. Because that's how you have been living successfully, is taking everything on head on and, you know, not retreating into your shell, more pushing forward, taking charge, making your decisions. So the advice today is to draw back from feeling like this defeated and remind yourself how truly powerful you are. Number five, you've got the 7 of Swords reversed. So the 7 of Swords reversed often means it's it can be some unexpected happiness or some unexpected reward coming your way. It's a card as well that talks about good advice and using good strategy, and it can be particularly related to sort of affair. It can be the heart, it can be at work, but it's somewhere where you've had to juggle things and you might have had to be a little bit manipulative to get somewhere. And this is talking about the rewards for doing that are coming your way, and it's probably something that you least expect. So it's sort of when it's up this way, this card, it's like almost like this guy is creeping away with these swords because he's nicked them. So it's like the energy is that sort of opportunist way, but it's not an underhand way that these things are being achieved. It's more of a, you're getting what you deserve here, and it feels like a positive thing that you're getting as well. So think about your emotional life, or even your life at work, something that you've put a lot into and something that you've been strategizing. That was a good word for a Monday morning. Strategizing to achieve a win. Okay, so this is you planning for something, making sure all those little steps are taken in order to get somewhere. And it feels like today that could pay off, and you'll either, something will materialize unexpected, or you'll hear something. So it could be a phone call, a message, which is that beginning of that process of reward is taking effect. So it starts. So look out for that today. Do let me know how that manifests for you. Number 4, you've got the Ace of Swords. Great card. This is a card of victory. It's a card of progress. It's a card of cutting through the clouds of confusion and clearing the way. So you should be feeling quite like you have got mental clarity today, that you feel ready to go into battle with your sword, but you also are seeing clearly. So it's like you're on top of the mountain, surveying your territory, and you can see you've got all your ducks in a row. You know what's happening. You know what your plan is moving forward. And if you're thinking, that doesn't sound like me at all, then the message of this card is to take control. Pick up your sword and go into battle, or pick up your sword and cut through the clouds of confusion. So if you today are feeling, well, I'm really confused and I don't know how to do that, then the advice would always be, okay, this is swords, and swords is communication and intellect. So it's a card that invites you, if you're not feeling that clarity, sit down with a pen and paper and write a plan, or write the pros and cons of any decisions that you have to make, or seek out advice, because that intellect communication coming into play there. Can you communicate with somebody who could give you better advice in order to aid that position of clarity that's around you, that energy that's trying to manifest? So today is the day when you wave goodbye to the confusion, you wave goodbye to that feeling that you're stuck and not knowing where to go, what to do, indecision. Today's the day when you wave goodbye to that and make those decisions and then push forward. Number three, how wonderful. You've got the 10 of Cups. It's a lovely card to have on a Monday morning, or indeed at any time, any day. So this is a card that talks about domestic bliss. It can be marriage. It can be sort of, being with somebody that's important to you, being with somebody that puts, that brings happiness and joy into your life. Sometimes that's a family member, sometimes it's a friend, sometimes it's a significant other. And you see the illustration on this card. There's this lovely happy couple, and they're surveying their beautiful land and house, and their kids are playing in the background. There's water signifying their emotional union. So this energy is around you today. So expect either a day of domestic bliss, so those people that are important to you could play a big part in today and could bring an even greater sense of happiness to your life, or it's a card that asks you to reach out for that happiness. So if that isn't your current situation, then perhaps it's you that needs to take that first step and to make that contact with somebody. And there's that sort of old saying that the phones go both ways. So sometimes we sit and we're like, well, I haven't phoned them, but they haven't phoned me, or why haven't they phoned me for so long, or messaged, or whatever. What we should be really thinking is maybe they're having a hard time. Maybe for whatever reason they haven't contacted, so I will reach out and make that contact. And today is really well aspected for doing that, to bring some of this, the joy that people close to us bring us. Number two, you've got the Sun. So the Sun's a great card. It means that your day today is going to be lived in the sun. It feels like you're going to have a great day. I love this card. It feels like there's a spirit of adventure. So you see the illustration on here. We have a young boy riding the white horse and the sunflowers. Sunflowers are always happiness. And he is riding out like, woohoo, he's off on a new adventure. So today, look out for new opportunities that are being handed to you. They can even be travel overseas, or that kind of spirit of travel overseas where it's like you're stepping into the unknown. You're stepping forward to take on a new challenge or a new phase of your life, and you're doing it with the glow of the sun. So you're not sort of feeling, oh, I'm not quite sure. Take it on board. Have your sunny confidence and, trust yourself to do a brilliant job and to make the right decisions, because today is your shiny day. And it's like one of those days where it feels like everything just drops into place and, everything goes right for you. So enjoy your day, number two, is all I can say. Number one, you have the 8 of Pentacles. So this is a card that's talking about you picking up skills, learning new things, mastering a trade, getting really good at doing something very specific. And it's a card that invites you to, if you have been considering education, or if you have been thinking about either learning something or teaching something, because this can be the master as much as the pupil, then it could be a great day to look into that and to investigate how that will fit into your life. And it's true that learning and education for many of us brings that sense of fulfillment, and it's a great achievement. I've recently done a course, and even at my old time in life, it was really rewarding to do it, and it gave me a lot back. So that sort of, never think it's too late. Expect it to be a great experience, and it looks like this is aspecting it to be on the sort of in your sphere of influence today. So look out for that learning or education opportunity. Now, if it's not something that is sort of on, I was trying not to use the pun on the cards for you, but on the cards for you today, then is this a situation where it could be you're learning more about somebody, or at work where the truth is becoming clearer because you're learning what's going on in the background, or it's something that's being uncovered for you and something that's becoming more apparent. So you're learning about people, or you're learning about a situation, but whatever it is, this education and learning for you, number one, is really clearly showing up with this card. Good morning, Kirsty. Oh, from Australia. Fantastic. I wonder what time it is in Australia. It's 20 past 10 here. I'm assuming it's going to be nighttime there. Number 12, and we have the card Justice. So Justice is a great card if you're involved in any legal battles or things like that. And it's a card that comes out when there's going to be a favorable decision, so a decision in your favor. However, if you're not involved in anything legal, it's 20 past 7 in Australia. Thank you, Kirsty. If you're not involved in anything legal, then this is a card that invites you to seek a sense of balance in your life, to seek a sense of fairness. So it can be as sort of abstract as, are you balancing the areas of your life enough? Is your life work balance okay? Are you giving too much of yourself to somebody who isn't reciprocating? Is that sense of balance out, or is it level? And if it's out, this card invites you to use the scales of justice and then to regroup and rebalance what's going on. So achieve that sense of balance. Now, the other interpretation of this card, because it's justice, this card applies to the astrological sign Libra. So this can also be particularly a poignant card if this unbalance comes with a Libran, or if you're a Libran. So watch out for that influence. It's talking about balance, either not balanced or something balanced, or a sense of justice, and justice will be done. So legal matters, brilliant. But if it's not, look for that balance in your life. Number 11, you've got the 10 of Wands reversed. 10 of Wands reversed is a great card, I think, because the 10 of Wands talks about burdens. And when it's reversed, it's talking about the end of that time, and a time when you're able to sort of put down your burdens and sort of move on with a lighter heart. So it's like, you know, when you're carrying like a massive haversack full of weight and you're sort of walking, and then you take it off and you literally feel like you're floating because you're that light. This is the sense that we get with this card, because the burdens are falling away from you, and it's time to embrace some lightheartedness and to sort of enjoy life a little bit more, that you can put down these decisions, these burdens, these worries, and think more about the future, which is symbolized by this house on a mountain in the distance here. So it's a card that invites you to think more about the future and to put yourself first as you move forward in that future, because sometimes burdens come from the expectations of others or the responsibilities that we feel for others. And this card is like, you're breaking free from the shackles. The wands are flying from you and hitting the ground everywhere, and you're striding through them on your way to the mountain, on your way to the lovely house on top of the mountain. So try to manifest that energy today, because again, sometimes we tend to cling on to burdens, and it's through some kind of deep-seated like guilt or need to think, oh, we have to be worrying about something, we have to carry these burdens and responsibilities in order to be functional and of use, but we really don't. And this card reminds you that, you know, the future is yours alone. Shed these burdens and walk into the light with a new sort of energy that takes you forward. Be excited for the future, number 11. Number 10, we've got the 2 of Wands reversed. So this indicates that you might be feeling that you're limited at the moment. Your choices are reduced. You have a lack of vision, or you're not quite sure which way to go. This can also indicate that travel plans can become a little bit unstuck. So if you have plans to travel, then make sure you've double checked any arrangements. My screen just went really funny there, so I do apologize if there's a glitch on the live there. So we've got a feeling of being stuck, a feeling of obstacles, lack of vision, lack of planning, lack of knowing where to go, sort of that confusion. Or it can manifest as you feeling like what you decided to do before, the plans that you've made, don't feel as exciting as they once did, and they don't feel like maybe they're the wrong plans now, or maybe I should have done something differently. But what this card invites you to do, because remember, we've always got the positive energy of the card, which is simply blocked or thwarted in some way by that reversal. And the positive energy of the upright card is beginning plans. This guy has got a globe in his hand, and that's to show you that the world is your oyster. And much like the 10 of Wands reverse that invites you to go forward with a new sense of positivity about the future, this is a card that also invites that sort of feeling. So this is you today, feeling that those plans aren't working out, travel plans, perhaps stuck, lack of vision, lack of knowing what way to go. But what you're actually experiencing is a blockage of this energy, which is the world is your oyster energy. And this is the beginning of plans as well. So this isn't talking about plans that have been in existence for years. Okay, this is things that are relatively new, and that's because it's a 2. And you'll find that numbers earlier can they're about the beginnings of things rather than the end of things, which is your later numbers. So take this today, take this advice. If you aren't in a position where you can just whip up some positivity to take you forward, then why don't you just give yourself a day off, metaphorically, and stop trying to pressure yourself to make these decisions or to see things clearly, because energy changes. Energy is flux. And from a physics point of view, people will tell you, or physicists will tell you, that energy doesn't die, it just changes form. And this is true with tarot, because if you think about the energy of this card, the energy of the image, when it's like this, it's sort of forward. When it's like this, it's being pulled back. So it's almost like a physics thing's going on here. And you've got like opposing forces. And remember what physics says about opposing forces. What goes one way, it has to go another way. So when something's pushed, something's pulled, that sort of thing. So give yourself time to reflect, even just put something to the back of your mind today and don't even think about it, because this energy is on its way back round and you'll see things much clearer on a different day. Last one here, 10, 9, 8. Number 9. I can never count when it gets over to the other side for some reason. Okay, lovely card to finish on. We've got the 6 of Wands. So this card is telling you that whatever you're setting out to achieve today, then you can expect to be victorious. So, oh, Kirsty, I'm just seeing that message from you and you can relate to that. That's brilliant. Thank you. If anybody else has some feedback or any questions, stick them in the chat and I'll come to them when I finish this card. So whatever you do today, number 9, expect it to work out for you. Expect to be victorious. Expect to get on well with it. It's like things are, your ducks are in a row. You're blessed today when it comes to decision making, when it comes to trying new things, when it comes to taking on opportunities. Also, it's, if you see the image, this guy is riding back from battle, and the ancient symbology of these images, because then, sort of hundreds of years ago, there was a lot of like riding into battle and riding back from battle. So if we translate that to modern day, if we're not actually involved in battles, it's like confrontations and perhaps things that are challenging. And this card is saying that take those challenges head on, because you'll be riding back from battle, from the challenges, with this sort of, it's a wreath of victory. And every day I call it a wreath, and I've got to think of another word for this circle of flowers, bouquet of flowers that's on his wand, because he's won. So it's like the prize of the battle. So tackle everything head on today, stride forward with a ton of energy. And if you've got anything that you've been putting away for another day to do, like, these when you've got to make a phone call and you've got to confront somebody, or you've got to do something you've been putting off, today's the day to do that and to tackle it, because it feels like you're going to be an unstoppable force of nature today. I love that. Okay, thank you so much for being with me this morning. It's lovely to see you, or to have you on the recording at least later on in the day. Thank you for being here from Australia, Kirsty. That's wonderful. Thank you, Sunseas, for saying good morning, and it's lovely to see you again. You're here quite often. In the meantime, if you have any questions for me, then email me, naomi@skyspirit.co.uk, and I'll answer them tomorrow. 10:30 in the morning, tomorrow morning, every weekday, for your daily tarot and astrology overview, a collective reading, and then a 12-card reading to hopefully give you some guidance for the day. See you tomorrow, and stay weird.